Joining us now, we're very pleased to have with us Wiley Buck with the Great River Greening to talk about a restoration project to help Trout Brook back to good health. So glad to have you with us.
Oh, my pleasure to be here. It's
First
a great
time being on
project.
our show, so thank you.
Yeah.
So very exciting project. You're the project manager, senior project manager of the Trout Brook project. What's this all about? What are you doing?
Yeah, it's all about bringing a stream back to health, like you said. Trout Brook is this wonderful stream south of Afton, and it's about 2 miles long. Starts out up in the hills on some private land, then goes through the state park, and then goes through Afton Alps Ski Resort, then back through the state park and connects with the St. Croix.
Yeah, I was wondering if it eventually gets its way down there then.
It does, yeah. If for anybody who hikes Afton State Park, it's that big, there's the big bridge right there on the main trail, and that's Trout Brook Afton underneath you. Yeah, that's right where it connects with the St. Croix. So as some people may know, the St. Croix is in a little bit of trouble. I mean, it's a beautiful river. It's one of the nation's best wild and scenic rivers.
I love it.
Yeah, yeah. But it has a phosphorus problem, and that's kind of, scientists have identified that in the long term, we might have problems with algae if we don't do something about the phosphorus. So a study is done on where it's getting its phosphorus, and Trout Brook was one of the major contributors. And the reason why is that, well, it's got an ag history. It's in an area with really sandy and erodible soils. And at least in the section at Afton Alps, the previous owners, not Afton Alps, but the owners before Afton Alps, they straightened it. They took this wonderfully curvy stream and they just kind of basically ditched it. So there's this big long stretch that's a ditch. And we're doing work throughout the stream, but we've finished the big major project. So right at the parking lot of Afton Alps, we took it out of the ditch. And we were able to see from historical photos and soil borings and elevations where the stream used to go. So we brought it back. We got the caterpillars and the excavators out there and moved the dirt, and then had a really great day when we shifted the water from the ditch into the new channel.
Wow, what an undertaking.
Yeah.
So how long have you been working on it, and where are you in the status of it, the whole project?
Boy, these projects take a long time. So I think the original study was done probably 5 years ago. And then we did a little bit in the upstream part, and then this major part, all the engineering and planning was in 2017 and 2018, and then 2019 was the real deal out in the field where we switched the streams.
So besides getting it back to what else are you doing to make it healthy and to bring it back to good health?
Yeah. So we make sure the slopes are at the right angle so a stream can be a stream. So when it rains now, instead of all the sand and sediment just flowing into the St. Croix, it hops the bank and it gets deposited on the side of the floodplain, and that's what it's supposed to do. So it's a dynamic system. We've got all sorts of native vegetation along there, trees, shrubs, grasses, wildflowers. And then also there's a lot of changes in the elevation. If you ever go there, and I encourage people to do it.
Make sure I'll have to check it out the next time I'm there.
Yeah, there's a lot of riffles and little waterfalls and some logs and stones. And one of my favorite parts is just the soundscape of it.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, you can go on the footbridges and listen to it, and it doesn't matter what time of year, it always sounds like it.
Sounds like some beautiful photos that you can be taking too of the whole area and stuff.
Yeah.
So can people still get involved with it? Is there anything else that they can do to help
Well,
continue in that progress and stuff?
Yeah, thanks for asking. Absolutely. It's a little bit off right now because it's hard for us to plan with COVID and volunteer events. But we do have money to come back in and do some extra wildflowers to make it pollinator habitat.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we're holding on to that until that's good to go, and then kind of parallel to that, Afton Alps does an employee outing every fall too. So if you're an employee of Afton Alps, you look for your epic volunteer day, and we'll be doing some of the same. So yeah.
And such a big project like that, there were some partners besides just Great River Greening
Oh, yeah.
behind it. Why don't you tell us who was
Absolutely.
involved with it?
Yeah. So South Washington Watershed District invited us into the project. They were a partner earlier on, and they're basically implementing their vision and the Minnesota DNR's vision for the stream, both for water quality and also trout habitat. There are a few trout that find it now, but DNR is convinced they come from the main stem of the St. Croix. They get flushed out of Valley Creek or the Kinney and swim up. They know the trout aren't reproducing, so that's kind of DNR's vision, is get some reproduction there, make it a really high quality fishing stream. So those are the two main partners, and of course we couldn't have done it without Afton Alps. Their corporation has some green goals while also staying solvent. So they really helped out with a lot of the in-kind and coordination.
And this is good for all of us, for our health in this East Metro part of the Twin Cities as well.
Yeah, it really is.
It really trickles
Yeah.
down to us as well. Yeah.
It does. And I really should mention everybody is kind of a partner, because the big funding partner on this is the Outdoor Heritage Fund, which is part of the Clean Water, Land, and Legacy Amendment that the voters passed in 2008. So a tiny portion of our sales tax goes for that habitat, and that was really what was the bulk of the funding.
So we all have a stake in this.
Yeah, we all have a stake.
So I understand that you're also, besides this, you're also working, I mean, you work on other projects, but another one that you're working on is the Wild Rice Project. Why don't you tell us about that then?
Yeah, that's also related to water quality. Wild rice is really good for water quality because it takes excessive nutrients out of the bottom of the lake or the stream. The interesting thing is it's an annual plant, so it's not a perennial. So it's real susceptible to getting disrupted.
Did not know that.
Yeah. So back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, when we weren't too good about soil erosion and maintaining water levels and ditching and things like that, wild rice really took a tumble in Minnesota. So our role as humans is to help that seed get back, because it really can't get back to these water bodies that are, fine wild rice habitat. So these are help to collect seed from one site and bring it to another. So.
And you have volunteers that help with that process. Again, a major undertaking.
Yeah, we have used volunteers to help spread it, and it's really fun. You get to go out in a canoe and just fling it, and it's usually on a beautiful fall day. So
I was going to say fall is when you actually do it then. So maybe by then things will settle down with COVID-19 and people can do some more of these things that they love doing and that.
Fingers crossed, yeah.
So if they want any more information about either of the projects, they can contact Great River Greening then?
They can, yeah. Go to our website at greatrivergreening.org, and you'll see our list of that season's volunteer events. You can also sign up to get on our mailing list and get early notification about other volunteer events when they're announced. So that's the best way.
Great information.
Great.
Very interesting.
Glad you
So
liked
thank
it.
you for being a guest and taking time out to be with us. Appreciate that.
My pleasure.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Riley. And thank our viewers for joining us. We hope you'll join us next time on Inside Healthcare. We'll see you then, everyone.